Hi, I am Holly. You may or may not have seen me in some of Jeff's prior videos. I am a makgeolli brewer from Boston.
Hi Holly, thanks for visiting again. Now we're gonna make something together, but I'm gonna try to follow Holly's recipe for fruit-based makgeolli, and we're gonna try that out today. So I'm looking forward to it. So what did you pick to do?
So we're gonna do peach makgeolli.
Great.
That's what we're gonna do today.
Great. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, so I use a pretty basic recipe, which is 1,000 grams of chopped salt, 90 grams of noruk, and a liter of water. So we measured out just the 1,000 grams or 1 kilogram of chopped salt. We rinsed it, I don't know, probably about 10 times, I suppose, until the water was clear.
So this is how I do it.
Just wash this and dump it, and then we'll put fresh water in and leave it. I think that'll be fine.
Left it for about 5 hours. You only have to leave it for 3, but this time we let it soak for about 5 hours. And then we drained the rice and let it sit for half an hour. Today we are making peach makgeolli. We started with frozen peaches, about 500 grams. We thawed them. We blended them. And then we weighed them. Based on the weight of the peaches, we added more noruk. This is how I do it. Other people can do it their own way, but based on the weight of the peaches, today we increased the noruk to 130 grams.
Only that.
Jesus. Okay.
We then steamed it for 40 minutes. Then we set it out to cool. Spread it on a drying rack, and it is cooling. Now comes the fun part. We started with a sanitized jar and sanitized hands. We put the rice, which we cooled to approximately 25 degrees Celsius, into the sanitized jar. I then put in the noruk, the peaches, and then I use the water to rinse out the container holding the peaches. Everything goes into the sanitized container all at once. Normally, my basic recipe has 1 liter of water, but because of the approximately 500 grams of peaches that went into the blender, that is, there's a lot of liquid in the peaches. So today's batch, we are going to add 800 milliliters of water instead of the normal full liter. I then mix everything up using my hands to break up any of the lumps in the rice to make it very smooth. At this point, it's still quite wet, so I just mix everything up by hand to get it as mixed as I possibly can.
In the cabinet.
So the next morning, I took a look, and all of the moisture from the night before had been absorbed into the rice. So now my mixture is looking quite dry. I took a spatula and I stirred things up. Everything right now doesn't look very interesting, but it smells really good. Smells very peachy. Just gave it a good stir, made sure that I stirred everything up from the bottom, tried to get as much air in as I could, and then put the lid back on and left it to revisit in another 12 hours or so.
Oh, excellent, excellent. That's a great one.
So I generally stir it in the morning and then in the evening, and usually by the third day, I see bubbles. I usually then just watch it for a few days. I come in, I listen to it, I smell it, I watch the activity. I generally get my phone and show people the bubbles. Sometimes I put them online. I find it very entertaining. I normally find that I'm done between 7 and 10 days. I bottle a little on the early side. It goes into the fridge. My brews are generally light and fizzy. I think that has something to do with bottling early. They're a little bit on the sweet, fruity side. I think that might have to do with bottling early. But usually they go between 7 and 10 days. I think the longest I've ever gone is about 14 days, but that was in the dead of winter, and I keep my house very cold. I'd say I've made over a couple dozen different brews, maybe close to 30. I began brewing makgeolli because I saw it in my dramas. I wanted to know what it was, all about it. I tasted it. I thought it was really good. Although now, what I thought was good, you know, like a commercial bottle of makgeolli with aspartame in it, now I would not think that is so good. But at the time, I was like, this is really cool. And when I started researching it, found Brian and ended up, meeting Jeff because I went to Philadelphia to meet the brewers down there, and it's just sort of blossomed from there. It's a really interesting hobby to have. Because I just sold my house, I had to get rid of all of my brewing supplies, except for one brand new bag of Nuruk that I'm taking with me, which is kind of funny. Go to Korea and bring Nuruk from the United States, but that would be me. And as soon as I get there, I'm going to get a new container and new materials, and I am going to start brewing again. So I guess I'll see you guys in Korea. This is the first time I've actually brewed with Jeff. This has really been fun. I hope you have enjoyed watching Jeff brew a Holly style makgeolli, and thank you very much for watching. See you in Korea.